Good morning, Royals. Welcome to the Royals Network Morning Show. I'm Artemi. Today is Monday, November 28th, and oh, you know what? I actually have to go to a tour of the Port Jeff High School Library. I'm late. And here I am in the school library with Mrs. Grosso, the school librarian. So, I have a couple of questions for you about the library. First, how can students find the book that they're looking for?
Well, there are lots of ways. They can roam around and see if there's a cover that sparks their interest or piques their interest. They can also use these handy dandy search scans, or they can go to the website and search the catalog. And of course, they're welcome to ask me for recommendations.
Cool. So, where can students and teachers find resources for various projects, such as the senior synthesis or other type of research projects, among other things?
That's a great question. Well, we have a huge nonfiction selection here. So if you're someone who likes having something in their hands, something to flip through, this is a really good first stop for your research. And of course, a great second stop is the library website, which you can scan again. And on the library website, you'll have access to our catalog and our databases and a whole bunch of cool websites that will fill you with tons of knowledge.
Sounds like this library website is a very useful website for students to use.
It is.
So here we are in the blue room. Now, if I remember correctly, this room used to be a room full of computers, and now it's used for something different. Do you know why it changed and what it's used for now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have jumped into the future, and now students have their own Chromebook. So we don't need a computer lab, not in the same way that we used to. So the Blue Room is now a Blue Room that hosts multifaceted, multi-purpose activities. We have teachers do mock interviews here and debates here. We have cupcake challenges. We have STEAM stations. We have research going on, and a lot of playing and tinkering and experimenting. There's lots of wonderful opportunities in this school, and this Blue Room hosts a bunch of creative and innovative lessons and experiences. So hopefully we'll see you guys here often.
Awesome. So here we are in the Nook. So my next question for you is, what are some good studying spots in the library?
It's a great question, and I think it very much depends on who you are as a learner. Some people need a little bit of noise, in which case the lounge area of the library is great. You can put your feet up, sit in a cozy chair, sit near people, but not necessarily need to chat with them. Some people like working with their friends or collaborating when they study. We have that center space where there are larger tables. Some people like tinkering or playing while they're studying. They need to keep their fingers and their minds active at the same time, so you can pick one of the puzzle tables. But there are other people that just need focused, quiet time. And so the Nook is a perfect spot if you're looking for that focused, quiet time. And we also have some new standing stations, kind of high-top study areas right in the middle. So feel free to check those out and test to see what works best for you.
All right, cool. So now we are in the lounge area where the Fancy First Friday was, if you went to that. So tell me, how would you describe a typical day in the Port Jefferson High School library?
Well, there is no typical day in the Port Jefferson Library. Every day feels very different, and that's what's wonderful about this place. You have some very quiet, calm days. You have quiet periods. You have periods right before midterms or finals where everyone is super focused. And you have other days where it's wonderfully busy and alive and lots of game playing and lots of, like you mentioned, Fancy First Fridays, music and celebration. So it really is very different every single day. And we urge you and welcome you to stop by.
All right, it's great. So here's a bit of a situation. Let's say that I have this really important document that I have to print out for a class, but I forgot to print it out in my house this morning, or my printer broke, and I want to print it out at the library. How would I go about doing that?
Well, it's pretty easy. You have the option of printing from the desktop here or directly from your Chromebook. When you're on your Chromebook document or your desktop document, just click on that little printer icon in the top left and then select select high school library main printer to print. Now some tips, try to print back to back to save paper and try to print in black and white to save ink. Because there's an interesting fact, about 45% of the paper we print gets trashed by the end of the day. And now in this lovely world of Google Classroom, there are so many alternative options for submissions. So if you don't need to print, don't print. If you need to print, feel free to use our printing services.
Yep. Again, that's High School Library Maine. Okay. Well, that's all we have for this tour. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was an informative experience for both students and teachers. And let's get back into the studio.
Thanks, Artini.
And here we are back in our lovely broadcasting studio.
Thanks, Artemi. That was a nice tour, and this is a really nice studio. If anyone has any questions, feel free to stop by the library and chat.
Well, that's all for today. Have a great day, Port Jeff.